Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ming Chen from Shared Universe Podcast Studio. You might know me from Comic Book Men. We've been doing these crazy, weird, random live streams with all our friends and supporters and people we love. And today, I definitely have somebody that I love very much, Lanie Labens. Everybody, you've heard her on many podcasts that we've done together. May have seen us, caught us at a couple conventions. Always an adventure. Always an adventure. Yeah, always you're also an author, a content creator. You have a YouTube channel, and you are the co-founder of IDDS Management. I don't do subtle management, a talent management company, booking talent for cons. And most importantly, though, you're a friend. And welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I adore you. I have missed you so much. You're such a staple and a fixture in my life. I can always count on seeing you around this time of year. And I'm glad to be seeing you here today.
Yeah, I do. I miss you. It's one of the worst parts about all of this. But it stinks. It stinks. But I'm seeing you right now, and you did an Instagram live last couple days ago. So
Yep.
That was awesome. Follow Lanie on Instagram at Lanie Labens. Follow her up. Follow her on Twitter as well. Same thing. All just amazing stuff. Definitely. That's your goal for today. Follow Lanie on Twitter and Instagram. So first and foremost, how are you?
I'm an adaptable person, as we were discussing. So I like things how I like them, but I can roll with things how they are when I don't get my way. It's, it is what it is, but I vacillate. Some days I'm okay. Some days I'm not. It's more my concern for just the state of the world. Like me personally, yeah, everything in my life is a disaster right now, but I'm not the only one. And I do take comfort in that, but I wish that there was more I could do. I wish that there was, I don't know. So it's crazy, but I'm grateful every day I wake up and I'm grateful for what I have. And I make a list in my head of the things I'm grateful for that day. And that has helped me, as silly as that sounds, because it's easy to get bogged down in what's bad. And I'm trying so hard not to do that. So
That's amazing. I don't think I wish everybody had that attitude. Yeah, I mean, we've lost a lot.
yeah.
Kind of personally. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're not that big. I mean, we're alive. We have food.
Right.
Our family's okay. Things like that. But us kind of being in the convention world and those not happening right now, that's a big loss. And I'm with you. I wish I could do more too. Like I didn't go to medical school, so I can't really help out there. So I kind of stepped back and was like, well, how can I help? And I was like, well, I can do this.
Yeah.
About in a small way, my friends with businesses, just see how they are, how maybe bring some awareness to them and see how they're doing. So yeah. So you're in LA, but
Yeah.
you are in Texas right now. You're back home.
I am, yes. So a thing about me that a lot of people don't know is that I'm kind of a worst case scenario planner. I hope for the best, but I plan for the worst. And I moved out to LA 4 years ago to follow some crazy dreams. I love it out there. I actually, in December, I was thinking, I love it here so much. I never want to leave, of course, right?
Of course.
But always with the idea in the back of my mind, if something really bad happened, I want to be with my family. I grew up in Austin, Texas. I moved around a lot as a kid, but I spent the majority of my youth in Austin, Texas. That's home to me, and that's where my parents live and my sister lives. And so March 5th, when things started to look like they were going to improve quickly, I decided to pack up and head to Austin until we know what's going to happen. Also, overnight, I lost all of my income. So it's, at least I know my parents will feed me. So that was another perk, another reason for my departure. But yeah, so I'm in Austin, in my bedroom at home. I feel like I'm like 15 again. because I am like sad all the time. I can't go anywhere. And my dad keeps trying to give me like little tasks to do, just like when I was like growing up, like, oh, you've been sitting on the couch too long, go do this. Or like I'm like in my room playing Animal Crossing and he's like, hey, have you done anything recently? And I'm like, ah.
Daryl's sending you on missions.
He's always like, I'm redoing his store's website, which
Right.
is not some like I don't do that, but I'm doing it. So yeah, so he's like giving me little tasks to do around the house. I'm doing Pure Barre 4 or 5 times a week
God
to
bless
keep
you.
sane. Yeah, I was thinking about you this morning when I was working out. I was like, me and Ming need to like do a virtual class together.
I would love to. I'm in. I have not really moved the last 7 weeks. I need your dad to tell me to like, dude, get off your ass and move around.
He would love to do that. He's telling all of us at the house like he injured his rotator cuff, so he hasn't been able to do all of his workouts, but he still goes for a socially responsible walk every day, 5 miles at least, like mask on, we're good to go, and he's out the door. So yeah, but yeah, how are you? Like, what are tell me about how's the
doing
family?
good. First of all, I'm glad you left LA. LA is just crazy, especially
Yeah,
at a time like this. You think people are crazy when it's not, when it's just a regular day. Imagine now that they can't get toilet paper and
right.
celebrities have no one to look up to them, or beauty teams, or or award ceremonies. Like they basically have no attention lauded on them right now, and
Exactly. Yeah.
it's crazy. So I'm glad you're back home with your mom, your dad, your sister, and your cat. And
Yes, the cat is
oh my God,
asleep.
that's Trilby,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, she's asleep on my bed. Yeah.
I'm doing good. I was gonna ask you what's keeping you sane throughout all of this. For me, it's this.
Yeah.
I've been podcasting pretty much multiple times a day, either live streaming or on Zooms or whatever, and it's definitely been keeping me sane. We moved all our business online. I think most of our clients we were able to shift online, and God bless them. They could have been like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, at least until you're back. And I'm like, well, I don't know when that's going to be,
Right.
and we have rent to pay. So, and at least I get some human interaction, and I get to see friends, and I can still make fun of Mike Zapsik just as easily through an internet connection as I can online. So that's definitely keeping me sane.
Yeah, that makes me happy to hear. If you weren't making fun of him, then I would feel like the world was really ending. That would be a sign of the apocalypse to me.
That will never stop.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if your family was keeping you sane, but
Yeah, the funny thing is that I decided, the best thing about isolating with my family is that I already know all of their problems and I already know everything that they do to drive me crazy. So like there's nothing new, and I lived at home until I was 25. And so it's not like, so I've even lived at home as an adult, so it's obviously it's different when we can't go anywhere, but I think we're doing a good job of maintaining, when somebody needs their space, we give them their space. Right. But I'm never bored. I'm just like, that's who I am as a person. I feel like there's so much that can be done always to entertain myself. Part of that comes from moving around a lot as a kid and like not having friends. And my sister wasn't born until I was almost 6. So I had a good chunk of time where I may not have been around other kids, or like, I had to find ways to entertain myself, and that carried over into later in life. And so I'm playing Animal Crossing, of course. I'm a big Animal Crossing fan. I was so glad that they released that at the perfect time. And then I'm reading a lot, and I'm writing. I'm trying not to put pressure on myself because it's a hard time, but I would love to get a solid draft of my novel finished and start showing it to people if anybody is interested in seeing it, but so I've been reading and writing and stuff like that.
yeah, you're inspiring me. I was going to ask you if you kind of had that project that you had going, that you told yourself, man, if I only had the time, I could work on that. And you're working on it. You're working on a novel.
I am. Yeah. I've been working on it for a while. I've written on it in about 15 countries. Like I'm dedicated to it. I did what a lot of people do and ended up scrapping a whole bunch of it and going back. And now I finally feel like I mean, I don't know. I'm in a groove. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But the thing that I'm trying to do right now, just in every aspect of my life, is not be so hard on myself, because I know I'm super hard on myself. So
I don't think anybody should be hard on themselves right now. I think
Agreed.
you should be focused on surviving and not getting sick right now.
Yes. Yes.
And then if you find that, you know, this kind of extra time is maybe creating a spark that's growing into a fire, definitely act on that for sure.
Yeah.
I see people like, you don't have to force yourself to
Right.
to
No.
be productive or maybe take on something new. That's
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and I've dealt a lot with I have bad anxiety and I've had depression. You know, I've been depressed before. And so right now it's kind of like the whole world's depressed in the sense that a lot of the symptoms are inability to get motivated and it's hard to leave the house and get up and do that kind of thing. And so I have to treat this like when I'm going through that, how do I try and be kind to myself? And so, and I hope other people are doing that too, because it is really difficult. It's unprecedented, and our world is different than it was, and that's scary. I don't care who you are. And so I'm trying. Some days I'm like not nice to myself, but I'm trying. And then some days I get a text message from my friend Ming Chen who's like,
yeah,
"Hey, come stream with me." And
yeah.
that lifts my spirits. I'm like, "Okay, let's do this."
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, on the flip side, you've been one of my more outspoken friends, in terms of like, stay home, don't
Yeah.
go out, don't
Yeah.
risk other people, don't risk yourself, stop being idiots, and everything's reopening too quickly, and we're not over it, and we're not at the end, and you know what the hell are you doing? And it's been there've been a couple of things I maybe wanted to go do, and I would hear your voice in the back of my head. And I was like, you know what, I don't need to
I'm so proud of you. Yeah, it's hard because my income, as a lot of your income, solely relies on big gatherings and
yeah,
people being able to leave their house and stuff like that. And I just don't. I think that my personal view on it is that we're not there yet, and that if we move too quickly to it, it's only going to be worse. Like if you've ever been sick and then you're on the mend and you try to do something too quickly, it makes you slide back. And I just think as a world that's what I'm afraid of. And I think there's a lot of implications, especially for conventions that are maybe unique and maybe where other sectors of the world might recover faster. Conventions may not, because it depends on people having disposable income. It depends on people being able to travel. It depends on a whole lot of factors. And I want nothing more than to get back to that, because I've spent almost the last decade of my life building a company that I'm proud of, and curating my reputation and my contacts and stuff like that. But I get scared because I don't want someone that I love, or even someone that I don't know, to die unnecessarily. And it's like, I understand when, I'm sure, I was in fifth grade, but I know you were an adult and you were living in the Northeast when 9/11 happened. And that's so a different situation of like, we needed to not be scared, but this is not that kind of thing. Like, the virus doesn't care if we're scared or if we're not scared. Like, that's not what a virus does. A virus is going to do what a virus is going to do. And so that's my personal opinion. And I have been more vocal and more outspoken than I may usually be on social media about stuff, just because I recognize what the little platform that I have. And I want people, if they're not, I watch the news. I watch all news a lot of the time. I started following some doctors on social media who are working in hospitals who are seeing this, because I know a lot of people don't maybe trust the media. I'm not that person, but if you don't trust it, I tell people to seek out people that are currently fighting and experiencing this. And there's a doctor that I follow, and he is so smart and so eloquent, and he's not trying to scare people, but he's being honest. He's relaying what's happening. And to me, it's just absolutely terrifying. And I don't know for a fact that I had it in February, but I had all the symptoms. I was very sick for about 14 days.
I
And
remember.
and I didn't know, at the time I couldn't get a test and stuff like that. And even if I didn't have it, I wouldn't wish that kind of sickness on anyone, because that was miserable and it's so scary. And I just think about all the hundreds of people that are dying alone. And to me, that's the scariest part, is I would not want someone I love to die alone, when the easiest thing we can do is to stay home. And I understand it's affecting people's livelihood. I'm totally sensitive to that. I'm one of the people,
For sure.
but it doesn't matter if you have a livelihood if you're not alive.
Right.
So
for sure. We got a lot of friends tuning in. Hello, Sarah.
My mom was commenting. Sarah, hi, Sarah.
And yeah, Moshi's here. And
oh, hi, Moshi.
I also we got a special guest here. Someone who refuses to stay home. Mike Sapsik, everybody.
Hello, Lanie.
He's by himself.
No, I'm not. I am not.
Where are you?
I just wanted to pop in, say hi, tell you love you, and stay safe. You too. And yeah, Ming, I'll see you at 3.
All right. That's not 6 feet, dude.
See, this is why you don't want me on here, because he'll be breathing on you. It's horrible.
God.
Well, you stay safe. Make good choices.
I always do. You too, love. I'll talk to you later, Ming. I'll see you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Make good choices. Oh my God. I wanted to keep him backstage and not even bring him on, but
I'm glad you did. That's great.
Yeah, he's trying to keep the store alive. We're doing blind boxes at the store.
That's so cool.
He's gotten flooded with them, but I was like, dude, do that at home. But
yeah, it's hard. Yeah, my dad has a store in. My dad has a boutique in Memphis, Tennessee, and they're back open because their governor said they, advised them to open. And it was. I definitely think it's a hard thing for us because we're here being so scared and so worried. And he's taken every precaution he can to protect his employees and his customers and stuff. But it's just kind of a wait and see game. I do have a question for you, a comic related question.
Let's go away.
My dear sweet neighbor, the kids are in 4th grade and kindergarten, and they're looking for graphic novels. What would you recommend comic wise or graphic novel wise for those ages?
We're gonna call Mike and we'll put together something for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like Tiny Titans and there's a lot of good stuff. And I don't know if there are any. A lot of the cartoon properties have some really good.
Yeah, these girls. It's 2 little girls, and the 4th grader. I know her extremely well. I spent when I still lived here. I babysat her all the time, and I adore both those little girls. And they're Maggie, the 4th grader, is an incredible reader. Like her mom texted me and said, "Do you have any books that are age appropriate?" And so we never throw anything away around here. So we scoured the house and I found a whole bunch. And I was like all proud of myself. I gave her like 10 books and like a week and a half later she was done. So I was like, oh, okay.
Right, she's one of those. That's good. Kids don't really read like print anymore or read at all.
She's voracious. So I'm like, okay.
I'll talk to Mike. In between him packing boxes, he can find something for sure. Or a lot of the classic comic books are age appropriate. All this now is all geared toward adults with salaries and dark thoughts. It makes for good storytelling, but not quite appropriate for kids.
Right. That's why I asked you. I was like, Ming will know. My dad was like, do you know? And I was like, that's not my area of expertise, but I know a guy. I know a few guys.
I know a guy who might know a guy.
Yeah.
Or some other guys. So
some other guys.
So speaking of the con world, you run a talent booking agency called I Don't Do Subtle Management, IDDS Management. Check them out. I think I linked it up in the description, where you provide talent for the number of amazing Comic-Cons in the world. You are, and if you follow Lanie, she's usually in Paris about 4 to 5 times a year, in Europe several times a year, and then all around the country, booking and keeping tabs on talent all around the world. And unfortunately, all the cons that we were booked for the year were either canceled or postponed.
Yeah.
And the postponed ones are probably going to get canceled. I just can't see how they're going to happen. And when all this happened, you were one of the first people I thought of. Just it was tough before.
Yeah.
When they were going on, if you want to hear about drama and some of that, go back to some of our earlier podcast episodes, or seek us out in person. We'll gladly tell you some stories. And but those have all been wiped out, and it stinks. I miss them. The good and the bad. I mean, I don't miss the bad so much, but without bad there is no good either. So
right. The bad makes you appreciate the good. Yeah, I was actually supposed to be in Paris right now for a con. I should be in Paris right now for a con. And my birthday is Monday, and so I was gonna pop over to Rome for a con the next weekend, but spend a few days in Rome because that's not a city that I've spent time in. So I know, hard life. Yeah, a good chunk of my business is international, which I am so grateful for. I'm just a kid from Austin, Texas, who, I've always wanted to travel. I wanted to be well read and well traveled. And my sweet parents were like, well, good luck with that. We don't, we're just okay. And so I took my first international trip. I guess 23 is when the first time I left, is when I went to the UK. And then since then I've been to like 15 countries and multiple times. I've been on safari. I've played with elephants. I've, stayed in a riad in Marrakesh. I've been to Hobbiton in New Zealand. Like, I love it. I am absolutely feel so privileged and so lucky to do all the traveling that I've done. And I tell anyone and everyone, if you get the opportunity to travel, not right now,
Yes.
but if you get the opportunity to travel in the future, definitely take it. Even if you're scared, it's definitely something. It makes you a better global citizen. I feel like I'm more patient. I'm more understanding, because I have been all over the world and I've seen how different people live and how they view things and stuff like that. And it's through cons. And the cool thing about that is you could travel to a city and not meet anyone, but I travel to a city and I meet everyone. So.
That's why we're friends. We're. I have friends who've come to me with cons and they don't leave the hotel room, and that's how they roll. But I could never do that. I can never do that.
No, you wear me out.
Which is crazy because you're like a lot younger than I am. But you're pretty energetic before 9 p.m. and then
That's true. Then I turn into a pumpkin at 9 p.m.
Yeah, which is totally cool. But yeah, they're. I mean, I didn't even think about this when all this was happening until my first couple cons got canceled, and I didn't even really feel bad for myself. I felt bad for everybody else. I think the promoter first and foremost.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in Kansas City. We both went to Chris Jackson's Planet Comic-Con in the past, and I know him especially. I know how much work he puts into it.
Yeah.
A lot of these con promoters, like that's their income for the whole year, is packed into 3 days. And then beyond that, there's the vendors, and then people like us, either guests or agents or volunteers, all that, and then probably most importantly, the fans don't. A lot of them save up all year to go to things like this. A lot of them, this is something that they look forward to all year. This might be the only thing they look forward to all year.
Yeah. I just talked to Chris Jackson yesterday. Actually, we were kind of talking about the state of the world and stuff like that. And yeah, there's a lot of promoters that I'm close with that it's, this is, they poured so much into this, and it's, it's been the last 20 years of their life, 30 years of their life. And my heart breaks for them because what I'm experiencing is sad and difficult, but I know that, if this goes away, I'll find something else, but I can't imagine having, pouring everything into it for 30 years and then through no fault of your own, having it just ripped away. And so it's really great that the fans that are wanting to support and still trying to support, I really love that. I know, to me, cons are like summer camp, like good and bad, like there's drama that happens and that sucks, but then you make memories that last a lifetime, and everybody's there navigating it and having a good time, or having a bad time, whatever. But that's what it reminds me of, is this, and especially like backstage, all of us on the other end of it, we have this sort of like, crazy camaraderie of shared weird experiences. And that's probably that. I miss that so much because I was a little like outcast kid growing up. I didn't have a lot of friends, and then I grew up and got involved in this crazy world and made friends with people from all walks of life. And I love that.
Definitely not the outcast kid anymore.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think a lot of people look up to you, and I love you have fans, especially internationally. You have people, you have fans who draw you artwork and bring you gifts, and I think
there's a doll someone made of me. I'm obsessed with it because I'm obsessed with dolls. So
that's so cool.
Isn't that cute?
And I think some of them come to the conference just to see you, which is awesome.
Yeah, this girl, I guess I was in Germany, and this girl paid for a photo op with one of my clients and asked me to get in the photo. And she was like, thanks, I just paid for the photo so I could take a photo with you. And I was like, you could have just asked, like,
Yeah,
I would have just taken a photo with you.
Would have been cool. Would have been cool. Hello, Ani. Ani Bakers.
Hi.
We miss you. We miss you so much. It's crazy. So, do you think we'll see any cons this year? Yeah, I don't either. I can't imagine. I just don't know how it's going to happen. And like you mentioned before, there's so many factors. That I mean, first and foremost, do you want to pack, thousands of people in the same room while there's a virus being spread? No.
No.
And then, and will people be willing to come to a place with thousands of people packed in the room over a 3-day period? No. Or stay in a hotel where there, people come in and out, or travel on a plane to get to the destination. So that first and foremost. And then there's the economic factor. No one's getting any money right now. We're all saving, not knowing what's going to happen. A lot of people don't have jobs. And so the con is a luxury experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing, at least what I worry for on the promoter side is that, let's say somebody is in a state that is open and everything, and it's being encouraged to continue, and it does happen. If there's a huge outbreak at an event and the promoter gets sued, I think that even if the lawsuit doesn't go to fruition, I think it will set precedent for insurance. And I think other events won't be able to get insurance. I know, speaking with some promoters, they're like, oh, I'm not worried about that. I already have my insurance. And I'm like, that's great. And for you, that's great. But it definitely will hose up the system. And I think dealing with celebrities like I do, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be scared to travel, to do that. I mean, I worked with people who are already, as much as they enjoy it, it's a nerve-wracking situation for them just in general. I mean, you're putting yourself out there. I've been lucky and only had a few incidents with fans that I would consider kind of dangerous. For the most part, everyone's really cool, but you're already entering an environment that's not controlled exactly. You don't know what's going to happen. So adding in the element of a potentially fatal virus is like, it's going to turn a lot of people off, and that's understandable.
Right. And so you're pretty cautious. I saw a great quote from you. You've survived so much. You're like, I'm not like gonna let a stupid virus take me out just because I went outside, or just because.
Yeah. I've been my Twitter. I've been firing off on Twitter.
At Lanie Labens for sure. I mean, what will it take before you do feel safe going back? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I have. For me, I really think that I think we're gonna have to have some sort of vaccine. Which the unfortunate thing about that is that the shortest amount of time it's taken to make a viable vaccine in the past was 4 years. So that's wow, that's a long time in the scheme of life, especially when it comes to not having income right now. I also have this kind of moral dilemma of, if it's not safe, but if things are going ahead, I would feel responsible if I brought talent to a show and people went to see that talent and then they got sick. I don't know. It's really hard because I need to be able to make money too, but I don't want to be the direct cause that somebody put themselves in danger. So, I know it's a really hard thing. And I know that there's a lot of debate on all sides about it, and not just in cons, but in everything. But that's my personal view of it, is that I already feel like conventions are, I mean, there's con crud, it's a thing that happens.
Everyone's gotten it, whether you've a con or you've worked a con, or we've all gotten it.
We've all gotten it. Yeah. And, so it's already not the cleanest environment. And so I just feel like, of all the things, concerts and conventions and conferences are probably the last thing that they need to come back when it really and truly is safe.
Right.
So I don't know. What about you? What is your thought?
I mean, I'm itching to get back, and everybody was like, "Man, you must be going nuts," because I would travel almost every weekend right at this point. I think this month alone I had 4 conventions lined up, and Yeah, I miss them, but yeah, I got to go in the name of safety. I think of vaccines probably first and foremost, where there's either way to prevent it or eradicate it. And I it sounds like people are working together to find it. So hopefully it won't take 4 years.
Yeah.
Process. Hopefully by the end of the year they're able to run some human trials that don't like melt people's faces off or like
Right.
I imagine Will Smith and I Am Legend is like, oh well, that didn't work. That didn't work, and yeah,
Right.
look for
Yeah.
look for the
Yeah.
butterfly. But he was by himself trying to find this cure. We have a whole world trying to.
Yeah, we've got smart, capable people on it. I like to think. I hope.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I guess you just got to go with data. If the number of cases go down like single digits, I'll feel a lot more safe with that.
Yeah, and if we find out that if we start developing immunity to it or whatever, I mean, if I knew conclusively that I had it and I was now immune to it, I would feel very differently, but yeah, it would depend. And I think that the other biggest thing is going to be, we've got to see where the chips fall with the world economy. And it's hard for me to go to a show if fans aren't going to be able to show up. I want them to be able to show up and have a good time.
That's kind of the point, right?
It's kind of the point. Yeah, totally, completely.
Yeah, I think in the end, I just want to be in an environment where everyone's able to have fun again and do it without any fear. And that's not really right now. That's probably not for a while.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm really not. I want it to get better, obviously, but yeah, I don't think it's the rest of this year. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how things do unfold, how we proceed. I as a California person, I was reading that Gavin Newsom, who's our governor, he said that his optimistic projection is that concerts, conferences, and conventions will be able to resume September of next year. So, and that's next year. And that's his optimistic projection. Wow. Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
I mean, that stinks, but if that's, I mean, I would feel worse if it was just me, but it's everybody. So,
right.
And, I guess maybe that might be a little selfish, but I mean, you kind of do anything to make yourself feel a little better about.
Yeah. I mean, there was, what's funny is that before this happened, the last 6 months had been kind of rough for me. Different things had happened work-wise. Like, it was just hard. And then all this kind of came crashing down. And for the first time in a while, I was like, well, at least it's not my fault right now. Like, I didn't do there's nothing I did wrong.
Totally out of my control.
Out of my control. Yeah. I was like, okay. So
what do you miss the most about not going to conventions?
Besides seeing you, I think still and this is going to sound really cheesy, but one of my absolute favorite things is the first morning, afternoon, or even actually any morning, any afternoon when the con starts and I see fans in line excited to meet whoever I'm with, whoever my client is, like the genuine just happiness and excitement that they're about to have an experience that they're going to love and think about for the rest of their lives. Like, I miss that so much because that brings me so much joy. I miss that a lot. I miss that so much. And I love cons. Like, before I did this job, I'm a con person, right? I've been going to cons for a long time and I love camaraderie. I enjoy even when I'll be somewhere and I'll see like an event of something that I'm not interested in, but I see all the people gathered together over a mutual love of something. I love that. I feed off of that excitement so much.
I've always liked that too. So whether it be like a concert or a sporting event or cons, I like even more because I'm kind of more actively involved. Like, I'm not on a football field, but at a con, I kind of am, I guess. So
yeah, are you kidding me? You're a star player at a con.
I thank you. And yeah, I'm gonna just miss that. I miss seeing all my friends. I miss the exploration. Yeah, I'm even gonna miss sitting on a tin can going at 600 miles an hour. That's where I got all my sleep. So
right. Yeah, you for sure. For sure. Ming Chen is the man who like will do a con all weekend and then hang out a couple of days and like still be going at 100 miles an hour. After a con's over, I'm dead for 2 days minimum.
Starting to catch up to me, but how am I going to find the breakfast taco place in Austin, Texas if I don't stay an extra day, you know?
It's true.
Yeah, for sure. So with cons probably being wiped out for the rest of the year, have you been approached to do any of these virtual cons? There are these online cons popping up, some better than others, some kind of thrown together, others actually making a pretty decent go at it. Have you researched any of these? Have you been approached to do any of these?
I just got approached a couple days ago from a convention that I work with that's going to try and do virtual. Potentially, we're trying to figure that out. I'm hesitant to do them just because right when this stuff started, everything started going south, a lot of people were taking it as an opportunity to ask me and my clients to do things for free.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't feel like that's acceptable at any point.
Right.
And it's one thing to be doing something for charity. Obviously that I'm totally into, but just taking this as an opportunity to be like, well, you should do this for free, just turned me off of the idea. And I do think it's hard because there's a precarious balance of, while it's cool, maybe cool to do the virtual con, I don't know. I mean, unemployment is at a record high.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I'm unemployed, so it kind of upsets me that maybe it's not accessible to everyone. And maybe the people who need it most are the people who couldn't afford to do it.
Right.
So I know that like one of my favorite trainers, she's doing free workouts on Instagram, and she's currently unemployed because her studio's closed, but she's still providing like free workouts to help people. And I think that's amazing and that's beautiful. And I don't expect everyone to do that. I'm not asking anyone to do that, but it's definitely given me pause. I have considered, we did one meet and greet with a couple of my clients and a few fans because we had to postpone an event that I run.
Yeah, major event that unfortunately can't happen right now.
Right.
That was cool. You were able to connect them.
Yeah.
And, yeah, while it's not as good as meeting in person, I've actually seen that they've been fairly positive experiences even through a Zoom call or
it worked really well. Every single one of the fans was able to make it. Everybody had a really good time. So I'm exploring some options of doing more of that for charity, for some something, but it's difficult. And no, not very many virtual cons have reached out to me, and I'm honestly fine with that. If they do, great. If not, that's fine. Because again, I feel the same way that I don't know, the value of the virtual con to me is proportionate to the value of the physical con. And there are people that I see doing it that I may not book with, like I wouldn't necessarily book with during normal circumstances. So, and if we're maintaining integrity, I'm trying to maintain integrity, so.
And the cons have to innovate and work with what they can do. It's not the same experience, but I could see, I applaud them for trying though, for sure. And giving people great experiences, if they're able to. I see this, people are like, you think all cons might go like this? I'm like, no way. But I see maybe, a online segment being integrated into physical cons in the future. If I can't make a panel, if I can't travel to a con, that they can stream it and maybe pay like $1.99 to watch it or something.
Yeah, and I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah, whereas no one really did that before. So if people may be more accepting to that, and that would open up the audience to open it up to a larger audience. I've done a couple of them, but they were mainly, I would hop on like this and do a panel and people would watch it. There are a couple other ones, charging X amount for X amount of minutes for like a one-on-one Zoom call. And actually it's pretty reasonable. So that actually worked out really well for them.
That's good.
Yeah. But I don't see them like fully moving on there. And then Yeah, it's not the same experience as
It's not the same
walking down the
experience.
aisle and picking
Yeah.
up a rare Mondo Star Wars poster or
Right.
whatever, and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know I needed this. I'm totally buying this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or a 3D printed Baby Yoda. Like you gotta hold that thing. Like yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. I also think that I don't know. I think that there is a like you're saying, the in-person experience is just so different, and I think this is a nice thing to tide over in the meantime. But if this goes long term, I just don't see it. I don't see people being as interested in doing that. But I've been looking at people's videos and pictures and stuff that they posted doing it, and I think it, if it suits you, if you feel that it's right for you, then it's awesome, because like you said, most people's experiences have been, sounds pretty great. I don't know. It's a hard thing that I've been wrestling with recently. And it's also like, on a personal level, I'm just having such a difficult time kind of reconciling all this right now, that I have a lot of fatigue, and I'm like, I don't know if I feel like coordinating,
Yeah.
all of this. Right. So I've had a few clients that have done some live streams where I wasn't involved, and they just did it for fun, and that's totally cool. And like, good, I'm glad, but it's hard. It's hard for me on a personal level. It's like, when I feel motivated to do something, that's a good day, and I'm going to try and do it. But I don't want to necessarily commit to something that relies on me, and I just have a day where I just don't feel like it.
Right.
The other thing that I worry about is, and I'm sure that they've figured this out, and I'm just not a privy to it, but the promising the autographs is I find to be worrisome, because right now it's not, I don't like, I just know from when I've had to have clients sign a stack of autographs, if someone's not there like helping or paying attention, like the quality is not
right. And sometimes it doesn't get done.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that really worries me, is these cons that are like, have a 15-minute Zoom meeting and you get a 8x10, and I'm like, well,
it's in the mail. I'm like, where is
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's only, I'm like, oh, yikes. I would definitely not commit to that. Like, that's no.
I hear you. Is there any way we can, like, people can just support you?
Yeah, I have a birthday on Monday.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's funny, because I've had a lot of people reach out to me and be like, hey, you should start a Patreon where you post your writing, because I write a lot of short stories.
I've like, people are like, hey, why don't you start an OnlyFans? I'm like,
That's
a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
you're a good friend.
yeah, that's the one I get most often, is it's people that I know and strangers writing me and asking when I'm going to start my OnlyFans. Again, I just don't have the motivation right now. But my Venmo is, I don't do subtle, if people just want to Venmo me a couple dollars. So
I don't do subtle.
yeah, I don't do subtle.
All right. I mean, Mike's saving money for your OnlyFans. So.
I know. And I honestly, I appreciate that. I know he's a top tier supporter, and I feel so lucky to have people like him in my corner.
I don't think that's a road you want to go down quite yet.
I support it. I think it's
I
great for people that it does right. But you know me, and that's totally not my personality. And it's just funny. I got a message. I got a hilarious DM that I'll read you. I saved it because I was like, this is so choice.
Okay.
It says, hi there. Are you willing to be my sugar baby? And I will be giving you $1,000 weekly pay. And I haven't replied because, well, there's a lot of reasons.
Sure.
But I'm just trying to figure out, like, what, in the time of Corona, when I'm not leaving my house, what does this man get out of sending me $1,000 a week when I'm not gonna, like, I don't, this seems silly. Like, the message just didn't even make sense. It's got to be a bot. Like, it can't be a real person that's suggesting that.
Probably, but I wouldn't put it past that, signed M. Zapsik, that, I wouldn't, yeah, I'm like, yeah, and Mike trying to type it like as if I wrote it and broken.
Right, yeah, it's from a Ming Chen fan page. I forgot to mention that. I left that out. It's like the official Ming Chen Instagram.
For sure. And Yeah, is there any way to support your business or your clients? I don't know if any of them are doing anything right now, but
No, I don't think anybody's really doing anything right now. I would say, if somebody's really looking, if they really want to do something, like, I don't honestly donate to their local food bank. Do it. That's realistically like what I would like someone to do, is just really, if you can afford to care for someone else in this time, then do that, because that's our world right now. We're in such dire straits that our world we need a little sharing of the wealth, which it doesn't happen often enough. So if you're really in a position to do something for somebody else, like, do that. I'm very lucky. I'm so lucky to have parents that A, love me, and B, are happy to feed me in this time. And it's crazy, because, like, if things were normal and my business was suffering, I would just, I would go get another job. I worked 2-3 jobs.
Sure.
When I started building my company, I was working 2 jobs, and I'm no stranger to that. But right now it's not really something that can be done. But I feel so lucky and have so much gratitude that I am not in a worse position. So because of that, I really encourage anyone who can do something to help, to do something to help.
Give. Give.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a lot. Just something.
No, or just stay home. Just stay home.
That's
home.
That's the easiest thing you could do to help society.
Follow me on Twitter and like my tweets. Then I get a little serotonin at least. I'm like, oh, people think I'm funny.
Twitter at Lanie Labens and
at Lanie Labens, yeah.
And Instagram for sure.
Yeah.
And YouTube. YouTube. Do you have an address yet?
I think it's I don't do subtle, but it's I have the link. The link is all over. It's all I should mention that the videos are about dolls. That's primarily what they're about.
Yeah, they're entertaining though, even if you're not into dolls.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Did you see my workout video?
I did. Yeah, where you're in the backyard and hello there. I was just working out and like, yeah. Waiting, like watching you creepily in your backyard, but yes.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. So just check that out on YouTube for sure. Well, thank you for jumping in with me and
Thanks for having me
and answering all my silly questions and just
updating
everybody. I was just wondering how you're doing, and hopefully we'll be back at it soon.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah.
I have a good feeling. it may not be as soon as I want or we want, but it'll happen faster if you stay inside.
Faster if you stay inside, and when it does happen again, we're all gonna be so happy, and so it's gonna be the best con ever. So, thank you, Stuart. That's so kind of you to say.
My man, Stu Greenberg, always with the comment for sure.
Oh, that's so sweet. That makes my day. Yeah. So I think once we get back to it, we're just gonna be like the happiest people on the planet, and cons are gonna be so much fun.
I think it was crazy before. Just wait.
I know.
All over.
I know.
Yeah, it's on. It's on.
I can't wait for you to come visit me again, and for us to go like walk to the beach, because now I live by the beach when I'm in California. We can walk to the beach and walk, and like we'll go and get Mexican food, and it'll be fun.
Oh yeah, and those gluten-free donut bites and
oh my gosh, yes. Oh yes, the churros, yes.
Churro bites. It's amazing. I'm trying to make my way to Austin at some point too. I'm long overdue for it.
The Labenses love you, all of us.
Your mom is always there with a glass of wine for me. And,
always.
Yeah. God bless her. Please tell your family I said hello.
I will.
I love them so much, and I will see you soon, my friend.
Sounds good. This was so fun. Thank you for making my day. We'll talk soon.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for watching, everybody, and follow Lanie. Follow all of it. And,
all of it.
We will see you soon at a con near you. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.